DJ Kosta is one of Tunisia's most famous rappers. His music went into the soundtrack of the Arab Spring. But now he's going through hard times. His brother died a year ago as a jihadi fighter in Syria. Many Tunisians have been joining the Islamic State terror group, fleeing poverty and high unemployment at home. Kosta too has to work odd jobs to get through. He's still struggling to get back on his feet. At a cafe on the outskirts of Tunis, Mehdi Akkari, alias Kosta, and his friends spend their time chilling, waiting for something to come along. Kosta has hardly had any gigs for 2 years now.
I used to make lots of money, depending on where I performed. Back then, everything was easier. I had enough cash. Sometimes I'd make 2,000 dinars, sometimes 4,000. Sometimes I'd even give concerts for free. But then suddenly everything changed.
In 2013, Kosta's brother Yusuf took off for Syria to join the IS terrorists. Then the news came that Yusuf had been killed in a US-led bombing raid on Kobani. Kosta has been trying to deal with it ever since. A few months ago, at age 34, he moved back in with his mother. Yusuf had been the middle brother of 3. Their mother doesn't like to talk about her late son. It's too hard for her. The family rarely even enters Yusuf's room. Kosta still can't understand why his brother joined a group of Salafists and became radicalized.
He had a problem with pictures. I don't know why. But he took all the pictures down off the walls. He even took his diploma down. Books like these changed him. This one says that women should not show their faces or wear makeup. Things like that. Another religious book.
Kosta hasn't forgiven his brother.
Because they destroy our family.
Of course I'm furious. All this has destroyed our family. And he destroyed himself. That's life.
That's life. Okay.
Kosta had to give up his sound studio. The only place left for him to make music is the room he grew up in. Memories of the day. 5 years ago, he was a familiar face. In 2010 and 11, the Tunisian people took to the streets to ask dictator Ben Ali. But not much remains of the hopes raised back then. The new government isn't spared in Kosta's newer tunes either.
في
His brother's death brought him a new target, the fanatics of the self-styled Islamic State. Thousands of young Tunisians are still joining the terror group. DJ Kosta is doing what he can to turn the trend with his lyrics.
الأخبار اتقطعت والوحشة كل يوم تزيد ناس تتمنى تعيش لباس وهو تمنى يموت شهيد بون غلط ولا صحيح ربي وحده عالم خويا يبقى خويا مظلوم ولا ظالم قعد في الدار في لحظة جاني الأخبار خوك توفى في الغربة الله أكبر.
Kosta looks for spare parts at a car market on the outskirts of Tunis. If he finds them, he can sell them again for a small profit. The trick is finding them on the vast Souk. He comes there every week. He scrapes by doing odd jobs like this one.
You have to get here really early, and some people can't. So I try to find the part for them, and I get money for that. Money they would have had to spend on the trip here, or they might have had to pay more for the part in a shop, but I get it instead.
If he finds the part his client ordered, he'll earn a couple of euros. That'll buy him cigarettes and a coffee with his friends, that's all. But he leaves the souk empty-handed. The next morning, Kosta arrives at the Culture Ministry in Tunis to present a project he's been working on since his brother Yusuf died. He'd like to hold workshops for young rappers, so they won't be taken in by the radicals. He wants the ministry to finance the project. Then he might be able to start earning something again. But he doesn't have an appointment.
I hope I can meet the minister. I already know what she'll say. Okay, we'll see, or something like that. But it's really important to get this project up and running quickly because of the terrorist threat, you know. I look at guys like these and picture one of them disappearing like that every day.
But Kosta doesn't meet the minister. As it happens, he's in the wrong place. He's directed to the Office for Music and Dance. He waits for a full hour.
Do you address the boss as Madame or Mademoiselle?
We always say Madame.
Okay, okay.
Finally, Kosta is asked in, but without the cameras. A few minutes later, Kosta re-emerges. But the news is not good.
Let's go. Nothing happened, just the usual ministry double talk. She'll have to think about it. She's worried that I'm too radical. What bull?
Another disappointment. Kosta heads back home. In the taxi, he lets his anger fly. The driver listens patiently.
You know, they refused to work with me because my brother was a terrorist. But that doesn't mean I'm a terrorist. I was always against his views. Do you think I wanted him to become a terrorist? I never wanted him to go to Syria. I went to the police 1,000 times and said, talk him out of going to Syria. And they always told me, oh, he won't go.
The day ends like most others in Kosta's life, in the cafe with his friends. Only one of them has a steady job.
I used to have cash and lots of concerts. I was famous. And now I have nothing left. Since my brother's death, I've been having trouble. I used to work a lot and not sit in the cafe all the time. And now I just sit around here all day. Do you see these guys here? Maybe they'll end up going to the IS. Ask them if they had guns, wouldn't they go to the IS because they see no future here and hate their lives?
I'll be the first one to go, I swear to you. They live much better than we do here.
They believe they can make their dreams come true with the IS. That they'll get a wife, a car, and a steady wage.
I'd pack up the wife and the car and bring them back to Tunisia.
He meant it as a joke, but it's symptomatic of the boredom and frustration that many young Tunisians here feel. They've all but given up hope for a better future for themselves or their country. Kosta is even considering giving up his music. 5 years after the Arab Spring, people in Tunisia are still waiting for a new beginning.
Those who have solutions are all of them sitting in the